Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel for another Steam Winter Sale 2023 Cheap Games Roundup. This time we are doing games under $2, and luckily, unlike games under $5, this is not going to be a significant strain on your life. Because surprisingly, the games under $2, not a ton of entries this year. So, interesting. I've said it before. A lot of things that are normally on sale are not on sale right now, and that's weird. And also, it seems like some of the things that are on sale are not on sale at their lowest price. I do not have time to go check those facts. My apologies to the subscriber from last year who was like, "You need to give us the price history." And I just no. I'm sick right now, and it's finals week, and I'm swamped in grading, and I'm doing my best. So, without any other further ado, or whining from me, as if I'm being forced into this. Don't force me to tell you about Steam games. Let's look at 100% Orange Juice, which is a silly goose of a board game. 100% Orange Juice is this game where you are building up star power, defeating people, and moving around the board randomly, and there are a lot of random things that will happen, and the board will change, and you have different cards that come into play. It sounds complicated, but it's honestly one of those things where you just need to play it once, and then you'll be like, oh, I totally get it. It's very fast moving, it's fun to play, and easy to play online multiplayer with this. There is a ton of DLC for this game. And it's very silly. It's very Japanese styled, cutesy, chibi anime type of thing going on with all the characters. So yeah, if you like any of those things, this is a really good game at $1.74. And just look at, yeah, 36. There is so much, and all of this is mostly characters, um because there's so many characters to play as. And honestly, once you start getting into the DLC, everybody you play with had better get into the DLC, otherwise it becomes unfair with stock players against DLC players. But luckily, it goes on sale all the time, and the DLC is not prohibitively expensive for some of the better quality players that you can pick up. So it is a fun game to get into. Haven't played it in a while. Maybe over Christmas break, pull it out, play with the kids, and have a little fun board game type action. It is truly one of the most absurd board games you will ever play, but it's very, very fun. Next up, we have a trio of games. First of all, oh, come on now. All right, just give it to me then. Alien Breed Impact. There is a trilogy of Alien Breed games, and look at this. $1.99 for just the Alien Breed Impact, but there is also, and let's see, do they not have gameplay footage on these? That is a crime. Let's see, do they have it on any of the others? Assault? Counting on you, Assault. Oh, come on now. What I will tell you is this. The Alien Breed trilogy is the greatest isometric shooter ever. Is the greatest isometric shooter series ever. I love this series so much. It is so satisfying. It is so well made and well balanced, and the story is really interesting. So each of these games alone is $1.99, but for $2.29 you get all three games. So for just over the $2 mark, you get three absolute quality isometric shooters. Like I said, some of the best games in the genre. So what makes these games special? First of all, environment. It is creepy as all get out. See, they're just human corpses scattered hither and yon, and you better check them because they might have money, they might have ammo, and you need to pool your resources smartly. If you're smart about it, you're never going to need resources when you don't, or you're never going to not have resources when you need them. But you do have to be smart. And yeah, there are plenty of weapon pickups, other types of pickups. Um, it's just so very well made. The level design is incredible. And like I said, the storyline is great because people that you are facing down in the third game that you didn't think you would ever have to be on the opposite side of. Oh, yeah. And big Mama Jamma aliens coming after you. Oh, for real. Does such a good job of building suspense, and really just these games are such high quality. I love these games so very much. So I cannot recommend the Alien Breed trilogy nearly enough. Now, next up is a little classic vibe. Excuse me. I did not pause it in time. Here's the fun thing. Look at this. Aqua Kitty Milk Mine Defender. Now, Aqua Kitty Milk Mine Defender is exactly what it sounds like. It is the classic arcade slash Atari game Defender. See, you got aliens coming in trying to pick up the kitties, and you got to shoot them down. And then you got baddies coming after you trying to shoot you down. It's way more intense with way more weapon types and pickups and power-ups and things than the original game, which is awesome. But it still has the exact same little mini map that the arcade game does. So yeah, this is a game that knows its roots, but it builds it up around these kitties and kitties underwater. And the other one, Aqua Kitty UDX, is the Ultra Deluxe Edition. And so it is Aqua Kitty, but even more so. Yeah. And unless I'm mistaken, yeah, there is also this Astro Aqua Kitty is both Astro and Aqua Kitty, if I'm not mistaken, because there's an Astro Kitty as well. And so yeah, there's just a ton of Aqua Kitty madness. So if you enjoy these kind of arcade style horizontal shooters, yeah, there is a lot to be had here. A lot of fun, a lot of good times, classic arcade style action, and I really, really enjoy these games. They have such a classic vibe. How many times can I say classic in one sentence? I don't know, but if I said it more, that would be classic. Anyway, next up, we have BlazBlue Calamity Trigger. Now, there are a lot of BlazBlue games on Steam. And this just happens to be the one that I picked up. I love the BlazBlue games. They are very fun. I have, I think, 2 of them in my library, but this is the one that I've actually reviewed and played a bit. And so, yeah, this is a 2D fighting game. As you are seeing here, this is just highlighting all of the characters. But yeah, it is really, really good 2D fighting with some really interesting character design and some of the better gimmicks in the 2D fighting genre. So, yeah, There are plenty of BlazBlue games. As a matter of fact, let's see. Are there any other BlazBlue games? Yeah, Cross Tag Battle. That's 449. See, uh, I don't think there are going to be any other BlazBlue games at this price point. See, we just got DLC. I don't see any BlazBlue games coming in at this price point. And so, if you want to play a really good 2D fighter that is in the BlazBlue series, Calamity Trigger is, of course, your choice. Now, this next one, I have highlighted a few RTSs in the footage that I've compiled thus far in my other videos, but none like this. This is Circle Empires. And Circle Empires is kind of a remarkable thing. In the same way that Braveland took the idea of, turn-based strategic combat of the tactical RPG genre, and they made it so that anyone, even if you're not normally a tactical RPG player, so that anyone could pick it up and would be able to enjoy it and figure it out. And it's all about walking a very fine line between being, oh, there we go, hello. It's all about walking a very fine line between being so hard that normal people can't enjoy it, but only more seasoned players can, or being so easy that only new players can enjoy it. And this game it's good enough for anybody to find their way in it and to have a fun time with it. Because, it's RTS, but simplified in some special ways. You're building on these circles, which have these adjoining bridges. And so whichever circle you end up on, there are going to be adjoining kingdoms that are going to come up against you. They're going to be building up their civilization, and then they're going to rise up against you. And so just like any RTS, you're going to have to balance things like, okay, can I defeat these people? Can I hold my own? Excuse me. You're going to get more coughs in these episodes. I just apologize up front. But yeah, it's such a simplification of the concept of what an RTS is, while still maintaining a high fun factor. So yeah, if you enjoy RTSs, this is a fun one to play. If you're someone who knows people who enjoy RTSs and you've always been like, I don't get your video games, this is one that will get you in. Now, Crisis in the Kremlin. This is a very interesting strategy simulation type of game. Yes, the Cold War is in full swing, and you are going to be sitting behind the big desk with your finger on the button, and you are going to be making choices to do the things that need to be done in order to maintain your power and also diminish the power of the opposing forces. So yeah, it is a game of global strategy, and it's very involved. I will just put that. It is not for the meek and mild strategy gaming players. It is very specifically for people who want an interesting, really deep, really well-made strategy game where you can really take over the entire globe if you're smart in the way that you manage your country. My next two games are perhaps nostalgia picks for me. Oh, that's not even really. That's not even a big screenshot. You're giving me a screenshot that is arguably smaller than what I'm already looking at. Delta Force. Delta Force it was a very popular series in its day. Came out in the late 90s, but you can still play this game. What new Delta Force game announced? All right, I guess we need more military buildup, I guess. Delta Force 1 and Delta Force 2 are both under $2 right now. In a lot of ways, the Delta Force games are kind of outdated. They had a great run, and there are other games that are much better simulations of what military combat is like in the modern age. But I love these games. Like, I don't know. It might just mostly be nostalgia, but I really, really do love these games. And I have played them to death. Um, they are very fantastic for their time. But understandably, like, do not go into it expecting a modern first person type shooter, because some of the things that modern first person shooters do wasn't even invented yet when these games came out. So you kind of gotta take it for what it is and understand it as such. But I'm sure that there are plenty of other people out there who are like, oh, I remember Delta Force, those games were fun. Now, next up, this one does not rely on strictly my nostalgia factor, because I didn't play this one back in the day. I found out about it after the fact. Now, Flatout is a fun arcadey type racing game that has a lot of different game modes, and if you're looking at this footage, you could guess that, like, yes, they have demolition derby modes, they have actual races, and you can really swap some paint if you want to. But the best thing about Flatout 2, and indeed the best thing about most Flatout games, are the mini games, the games that you play with your car, and especially the ones that you play with your driver, where you are trying to, like, launch him at a giant dartboard, and see how far you can fling the driver through the windshield in a bad crash. There's just all of these funny mini games where it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. It is the weirdest, dumbest thing ever. Hey, that wasn't me. Everybody in this house is sick, so you hear other coughing. Might not even be my coughing. Who knows? Anyway, but yeah, they just have the strangest little mini games. And then, of course, they have demolition derbies and stuff, which, very similar to every other video game ever made, does not actually handle the demolition derby the way that you actually do it. If you've ever seen demolition derby, they drive backwards, because you don't want to get your engine hit, because then your car's going to stop and then you're going to be out. Drive backwards, hit with the trunk. That's the classic maneuver. Next up, we have Giana Sisters Twisted Dreams. This is a beautiful and very fun platformer where you are switching between a light and dark world with your two sisters, one of whom plays in the light world and one of whom plays in the dark world. And if you don't know the Giana Sisters story, they actually got sued by Nintendo because they came out with Giana Sisters in opposition to the Mario Brothers on the Commodore 64 way back in the day. And of course, you know my stance on the Commodore. I've still never touched it. And this does not count. It's a modern, like, completely different game based on a similar property, but is no longer, whatever. I'm not playing it on a Commodore, so count it. Anyway, these games are like, there's also the Rise of the Owlverlord, because you fight a lot of owls. and that is a DLC expansion that I believe is the same price as this game right now. Let me take a look. Uh, Giana Sisters Twisted Dreams, Twisted Bundle. Ooh, you get this and the Overlord. It's still under $2. So get that bundle. Why would you not get that bundle? These games, the Giana Sisters games, there's a few of them. Some are better than others, but the Twisted Dreams and the Rise of the Overlord DLC, amazing. Like, really, really incredible platformers with such great level design. And if you're the sort of person who likes to go back and make sure that you collect every little thing, oh, there's tremendous replay value in that, because it is surprisingly hard to get every little thing. Anyway, a beautiful, amazing platformer, highly, highly recommended, and you can get it with the DLC for under $2 still. Next up, Hacknet. Now, you gotta follow my logic on this one a little bit. This game is a simulation. Ooh, they need my help. This is a simulation of computer hacking way back in the day. And so, it's not a perfect representation of exactly what hacking looks like, but it's more accurate than any movie that you've ever seen. Sandra Bullock's The Net, anyone? So yeah, this is actually a really, really fantastically made, mostly text-based game, which when you tell people that in the modern era, most of the time they're going to be like, what? I'm going to do what now? It's going to be a what? Oh, yeah. Did you see that BSOD, the blue screen of death? Oh, yeah. This game gets very intense. It gets very real, and it has an amazing storyline. It's $1.49 right now. So if you're willing to take a chance on something that's a little unconventional, this is a very, very good gameplay experience. See, very positive. It's been out for a while. That's a lot of positive views or reviews. That's a lot of people who have played this and have been like, no, there's something to this. And I would tend to agree with people who say that. Next up, we have the classic Devolver game, Hotline Miami. Do you like hurting people? Well, this game is top-down shooter where you are going to hurt a lot of people and potentially get hurt yourself quite a bit as well, because it is extremely violent. Just an obnoxious amount of violence. So yeah, if you don't want to play a game in which you're just blasting people again and again and again, well, then steer clear of this. But if you're like, ooh, top-down shooter that's really, really wildly violent, here you go. Yeah, these games are very beloved and very much highly rated because it's everything about the game. Like, they have made great gameplay, and it's generally just an interesting experience, an interesting story. It's really all about the gameplay because, these top-down shooters, graphically, they are so simple. It takes nothing. You run this on a calculator, run this on a smart fridge. It's nothing to run this game. It's does not take high-powered computing at all, but it's all about, how does it control? How is the level design? Well, as it turns out, all those things really, really solid with Hotline Miami. And at just under $2, $1.99, you could certainly do much worse. Islanders. This is one of my wife's favorite games. She finds it profoundly relaxing. I have found it profoundly relaxing to watch her play it. You are building up these island communities, putting different types of buildings onto the island and doing it in the most efficient way possible. And for every building type, there is another building type that will take away points if you put it too close, and others that will multiply the points if you put them close. So it's all about finding those combinations. So ultimately, it's a puzzle game. And as a puzzle game, it's a really, really good one. It has a very casual feel. It has very relaxing music. The art style itself is very relaxing. Everything about this game is like, slow down. Think about where you're putting pieces. See what you can do with this. And so, yeah, my wife loves it. I am not a patient man. I often do not have the kind of patience it takes for these kind of games, but she absolutely does. And if you are the sort of person who enjoys a nice, slow moving, casual, nicely paced, mellow, chill out type of puzzler, this is quite possibly the best game in that genre, honestly. And at $1.99, it is a really good deal. Now, I've already highlighted Just Cause 3 as a game where basically you get to live inside one of those extreme action movies where you're just doing dumb stunt after dumb stunt. Like uh shooting a grappling hook onto a helicopter skid and then ziplining yourself up to it, and then hopping in and punching out the pilot and taking over the helicopter and then shooting it. You could do a bunch of look at this guy. He is preparing to jump from this moving vehicle to this moving vehicle, or perhaps just jumped from this one to this one. And yeah, and then he can commandeer the vehicle from here. It's crazy what you can do in these games. They're big open world. They have GTA style missions. They are underrated in my book. I really, really enjoy the Just Cause games, and for $1.49, yeah, you're gonna have a bunch of fun with this game. It's really fun. It's a very, very fun game. Mindless Saturday morning type of action, violence, nonsense. Just go crazy in a massive sandbox. Super fun. Did I mention it was only $1.49? I feel like I forgot. It's $1.49. Reigns. I love me some Reigns. Look at this game. So the king is dead. Long live the king. It's a card game. Very simple. You start out as whoever you are. They give you choices. Hold up. Pause for a second. These choices will have an impact. This one will have a large impact on the citizenry, a large impact on the military, small impact on the economy, small impact on the religion. You need to balance these four aspects of your kingdom as king in order to have the people not rise up and slay you, because they will. Or you might die through your own stupid choices. One or the other. You are not going to last indefinitely. That much is true. And then once you die, you can play as your own successor and then try and make better choices the next time around. Now, the funny thing is, you don't know whether this is going to have a major positive or a major negative impact. You have to read the cards and figure it out. And then you make the choices, and then you live with the consequences. And if you, see, if you make the wrong choices, then it's going to go badly for you. And it's such a simple concept, and yet it's so much fun. Like, you're literally, all you're doing is just choosing between this and that. That's all it is. It's you go this way, you go that way. You choose this, you choose that. And it's so much fun to try and figure out, like, okay, what's going to happen if I do this? And it's very much choices matter. And you will die again and again and again, but it's so much fun. It's absolutely delightful. And at $1.49, it is way more than $1.49 worth of fun. Absolutely. Now, shing is the sound that a sword makes when it's being pulled from its scabbard, or so Hollywood would have us believe. I've never actually heard a sword make that sound, and I was raised by a man who had a lot of swords. Anyway, this game reminds me a lot of Bladed Fury, but unlike Bladed Fury, this is roguelike, which means procedural generation. And so, yes, you have these multiple different characters, and they have their different powers, their different attacks, the different things that they do. This is not actual gameplay footage. Give me actual gameplay footage. There we go. That's actual gameplay footage. Now, in actuality, it's a little cartoony. I don't love the art style as much as I wanted to, given the interstitials, the cutscenes and whatnot. Like, the cutscenes are excellent, and if these characters looked more like the cutscenes, I would enjoy it even more. But it's not unappealing. It's just not what I expected visually. But as for gameplay, it is solidly fun to play, and you can really hack and slash your way through a lot of enemies. If you like hacking and slashing, this is hack and slash heaven. There's also a Shing too, in case you need more Shing in your life. But yeah, $1.99 gets you the Shing, and that is plenty of game at that price point. Now, unlike our under $5 video, this one's not even going to go an hour. Haha, we're doing all right. This is Stick Fight the Game. Stick Fight the Game is exactly what it sounds like. You're a bunch of stick people, and you fight each other to the death. And you get random weapon drops, and it is crazy. It is absolute mayhem 100% of the time. Yeah, some members of my family, some of whom might be sitting right next to me, are completely stressed out by this game, and others, such as my son, love this and desperately want more people to play it with him because he has so much fun with this. It's such a wild game. It really is just absolute nutso bananas from the word go onward. Yeah, all kinds of snake guns and bazookas and lasers and, yeah, tracer rounds and all kinds. It's so much stuff. There's so much content in this game, and you can play it locally. You can play it online. You can play it solo and just go in against CPU. You can go against random people online. You can play it a lot of different ways. And once again, it's a lot of game for just under $2. Now, the next game will be our very last of this under $2 selection. And if you've been following along, I have identified some Pilgrim Hat people. Well, let's talk more Pilgrim Hat people because it's the Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing. Oh, yeah. Look at that buckle hat. Buckle hat, man. You got to wear a buckle hat, wear it low on the brow. And look at this. You see this? Red over here, blue over here. That means Diablo clone. It's another buckle hat man Diablo clone. So, for those keeping score at home, we've had Victor Vran, we've had Grim Dawn, and now we've got The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing. But if you were paying attention, and like, look, this game is super fun. I consider all three of them to be roughly equivalent to each other, honestly. Despite their different price points, they are quite similar to each other in a lot of ways. I mean, notwithstanding the buckle hats. But yeah, if I go back again and post this, there's also a part 2 which is $1.49 right now. And there's a part 3. And if you buy the whole thing, it's $7.49, and it comes with like a bajillion different things. So depending on how much Van Helsing you want in your life, which I don't know, maybe you want a lot of the incredible adventures of Van Helsing in your life. Well, you can get so much Van Helsing. Yeah, just a lot of, hunting vampires and other baddies if you purchase this game. Or if you purchase this game and the other games, man, you'll be buckle hatted for life. You'll have all the buckle hat you could ever possibly want. Anyway, people, that is going to do it for our under $2. Look at that. 35 minutes. Not a bad time. Anyway, people, thank you for being here for this. Thank you for putting up with the fact that I'm not feeling great. Also, apologies on the audio front. I know I'm sitting really close to the microphone. It's because my voice feels like it's not doing super well. But because of the cold, it's extra low. And so the EQ that I had set for my voice earlier sounds muffled and not as good as I like it to be. Let's just put it that way. So thank you for sticking in despite all of the, issues and whatnot that come with, me not having enough time, me being sick, all of this stuff, all of the things that I've been complaining about. Thanks for bearing with me, people. Anyway, there's one more video coming. That'll be the games under $1, which there's a fair number of those, but we're not going to stay up too late doing that. Anyway, people, thanks for being here for this one. I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.